Hey, what's up, guys? Well, back once again for another fight card prediction. We're here for UFC back in Vegas at the Apex as Dustin Poirier faces off against the Hangman Daniel Hooker coming over from New Zealand. And I'm really looking forward to this main event. It's a really, really good main event. I've seen some people say Dan Hooker doesn't deserve his opportunity. I don't know why you're saying that because he's coming off an absolute war against Paul Felder, and he absolutely deserves this spot. And it's a big spot, obviously, for Dustin Poirier to re-establish himself as one of the top guys at 155. I just want to say a massive thank you. I've had so many new subscribers, so many people that have gotten in touch, so many people that have helped me out with commenting and just being a subscriber. So I ask you again, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll be notified when I come online and make these predictions here. And if you can always give a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. I've had so many thumbs up in the last few videos. It's been greatly appreciated. What I want to do this week is I want to know your favourite play of the whole entire card, and also I want to know your favourite underdog pick of the week. Let me know what it is. Let's see if we can get over at least 70 to 75 comments from people saying, this is who I think is my favourite play, and this is who I think my favourite dog is. So I can see you guys in the chat there. I really do appreciate it. And to the people, like I say, that might be new to this channel, I looked at the analytics and there's a lot of people that are not subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button. You have no idea how much that helps someone like me out, and it helps grow the channel. And the last thing I want to really talk about is just last week I made on the video there, I was making a kind of plea, a little help. I'm trying to help some animal charities, and some people reached out and they donated some money. So I think I got about $400 to $450 in donations, which is massive. Which, like, you've no idea how much I can do with that and add to the total that we've already accumulated. So to everybody from Tony, to John, to Lindsay, to Jack, and I think it's Terry, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because those donations are going to help so much. So if anybody else would like to help, please get in contact. My email I'll put down below. I'll leave, some people ask for my PayPal to be put in there as well, so you can send to there. But if you don't feel comfortable, like I say, I'm just asking if some people would like to help. If they don't, it's absolutely no biggie at all. So let's get into this fight card here. There's been a couple of changes as well, so this is going to be interesting. Tony, thank you very much. I see you there. And sorry, this is a little bit late as well, because today was my daughter's birthday, so we had quite a lot of things. We were decorating, building cakes, and you name it. So yeah, this is why I've kind of taken a day later to do things. So let's get into the fight card. Jordan Griffin against Youssef Zalal. I was going back and forward with this one quite a bit. Initially I was kind of on Jordan Griffin, and then when I was watching it, I just couldn't really garner any confidence at all, because he puts himself in bad situations. He's got bad takedown defense. He's very gritty. He's a very much a dangerous guy with chokes and so on. But I'm not sure Zalal's going to give him the type of opportunities to really get those chokes in. When I watched Zalal, I wasn't super impressed before his UFC debut, and he was against Austin Lingo, and I thought Lingo had enough in him to win that fight. I picked him for that reason. But I thought actually Youssef Zalal had a really good performance in that one there, and really mixed up well. Don't like the fact he kind of fights with his hands down a little bit. But I like his side-to-side movement. He can switch stances and throw heavy strikes off both sides. He can get his kicks up there really quickly. And what I liked about that fight, and why I think he comes into this fight a little bit, is the fact that he got well-timed takedowns, really timed them very well. And those can pay big dividends as the kind of fight goes on later into the fight, and can win rounds through that. And I like his speed. I like his hand speed. I think he comes out of Colorado, so he has a good gas tank. He's had a little bit of time to prepare for this fight. Not too long, because, I mean, Jordan Griffin was supposed to fight a couple of weeks ago. But he's been in the corner of a few guys from Colorado. You've seen that if you've watched the fights recently. At least I have. And I just really, he kind of impressed me. I was thinking about betting him, actually, when he was an underdog. And then when he moved to a favourite, I was like, no, I'm just going to sit back and kind of watch this as a fan. But I did like what I seen there. Jordan Griffin, I mean, he's very easy to take down. TJ Brown took him down numerous times. Ige took him down, Skelly took him down, so there is a path to victory there for Zalal to do that. I'm not super confident in the pick, but I'm going to pick Zalal to win that one there. His in and out movement, his takedowns, if you can time them well, just don't get caught with the big strikes, maybe into a little bit of a firefight, then I think he can win a decision here. So I'm going to pick Youssef Zalal there. Hansen against Jinh Frey. Two girls coming in from Invicta, and I was just like, really, I'm not sure both these girls should actually be kind of signed to the UFC, but Aspen Ladd, Sarah McMahon fell off. Maybe they had to fill up another girl fight on here, and they've got two girls from Invicta. You've got the former atomweight champion in Jinh Frey, and you've got Kay Hansen, a 6-3 record. So, and she's very young. I think she becomes the youngest girl in the roster now. Even before Chase Hooper, I think she's only 20 years old. Like I say, Jinh Frey, she is a champion. She was a champion in Invicta. She has a couple of really kind of bad losses on her record. Not bad losses. She got knocked out by Hamasaki way back, and then she got knocked out. She lost in South Korea against Seo Ham, which was a knockout. That was quite a devastating knockout. And considering Seo Ham's like a 105 and you're getting knocked out, that's not really a good look in the first round as well. Lost to Hamasaki again. And then she had the fights with Grusander, which I actually thought the second fight she actually lost that one as well. And she's not a young woman as well. She's the same age as me. She's 35 years old. Predominantly a striker, a good striker at that. When you look at Kay Hansen, was never really super impressed with what I've seen with her, but I think you've definitely seen jumps in her skill gap in her last two fights, and her boxing, I think it's definitely got a lot better. She went and did a professional, I think she went and did some boxing bouts to help with her hands. So she is a grappler, and that's what she will look to use kind of here. I think she will look to use a grappling in the small cage and trying to establish kind of her top position a little bit. But the more kind of experience, not by a hell of a lot, is in Jinh Frey. She's fought better opposition in my opinion. I've not got a good read in this fight. I think if this stays standing, I think Jinh Frey will kind of win through that. If Kay Hansen can get her hands on her, push her against the cage, make it grimy, get some trips, which I've seen her do in the past, I think she can win through that. But honestly, it's a fight that I'm just going to sit back and watch. I don't know why I would like saying that. If you've got Jinh Frey as a big dog, then I don't mind that. But I'm going to pick Kay Hansen to win that one via a pretty close decision. Takashi Sato against Ramiz, Brahhimaj. This was another one I was looking into initially because Brahhimaj came out as a kind of big underdog, and then I went on Twitter and everybody seems to be betting Brahhimaj, and I was like, okay, let me go and watch this and see what's up. And I must admit, I wasn't super impressed with him. I think he is very opportunistic on the ground. I think he is a no-gi world champion in the purple belt section, 2019. So yeah, fights out of Fortis MMA. When I watched these fights, I think it was Evan Coots, Justin Patterson, that was two of his losses. He gets dropped by Justin Patterson, gets taken down relentlessly, and he gasses really badly after 5 minutes, and that's not a good sign at all. What I will say is the guy's very tenacious. He will go for takedowns hard no matter if he's gassed or not. He drives in his takedowns, and the wins that I've seen him get, especially I think it was the Chase Martinez one, I think his name was. That fight hit the mat very quickly, managed to get the arm triangle, lock that up super quick. But on the feet, to me, he doesn't seem like he's got a lot of technique, a lot of striking acumen, and is there to be really got at. But he does swing hard bombs, but like I say, he's not technical, and his gas tank really kind of threw me off. Then you move over to Takashi Sato, come into the UFC, beat Ben Saunders, probably lost the first round against Ben Saunders, which is always concerning. Then came through, knocked him out in the second round. You just have to land that kind of money punch on Ben Saunders and you can get the win out there, and that's kind of what happened. And then he faced Belal Muhammad, had a couple of decent spots, was using his jab really well, marking up Belal Muhammad. But Belal Muhammad, in my opinion, is one of the most serviceable guys in the UFC. You've seen last week that even when it gets tough, the guy can fight really gritty and come through. And he did that. I managed to bet him last week, which was a nice come through. I've seen someone in the chat there saying they bet Belal as well, so that's brilliant that you guys made some money off that. He comes from a judo background. A little bit of a slow start. I don't like that because I think Brahhimaj is going to come out and really push him against the fence and look to take him down and get that there. And you have seen him taken down, even in his Pancrase days. He got dropped a couple of times back in the day as well. Has been knocked out in the past. But I think if this goes past 5 minutes, I think that Takashi Saito can win this fight. Not saying I'm super confident, because I don't think he throws a hell of a lot of output, and I think he might be there to possibly get taken down. And if he gets into a position where maybe side control or he gets his back taken, I think that Brahhimaj could maybe pick him off and get a submission. But I think he's got a limited time to do it, Brahhimaj, and I think from there Sato will use his experience, come into it, and really win the fight through that. So I'm going to take Takashi Saito via probably a 29-20, a 30-27 in that region there. Catchweight, Shawn Woodson against, it's now Julian Erosa. It was supposed to be Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson couldn't get his visa to come into the country. So Shawn Woodson is now facing Julian Erosa, who's getting another opportunity in the UFC, which is kind of, what, third time I think that is now, maybe even fourth time through TUF, I don't even know. So Julian Erosa, I was picking Shawn Woodson against Kyle Nelson. I'm going to pick him against Julian Erosa. Shawn Woodson is one of the guys I've kind of got my eye on in this fight card. I think he's got a lot of talent and he's massive. He is big for this featherweight division, even though this is a catchweight bout. But in saying that, Erosa is a big dude himself, 6'1". I still think he's at a reach disadvantage. But what I really like with Shawn Woodson is his boxing. I think he really has good technical boxing. I like it a lot. Kind of got a little bit of the tall man defense, and he is facing a guy in Erosa who's got a lot of experience. Obviously, he's been in the UFC 3 times, came through TUF, fought on Cage Warriors, went 5 rounds in that one there. So he has a tough out. I think Nelson was probably a tougher fight. I think Julian Erosa, he had actually a half decent fight against Julio Arce, but eventually it all started to kind of go downhill kind of later the fight went on. Then he got taken out in that 3rd round, if I remember right. But I really like what I see from Shawn Woodson. I think he's got a lot for that division. I don't think he'll be around that division all too long because he's massive and his frame. And like I said, I don't like his defense at all. But I see Woodson really picking him apart, maybe throwing some nice flying stuff here, some knees up the middle in the clinch maybe, and really hurting Julian Erosa. I just think he'll be a little bit more prepared for this fight than what Erosa is. And I've got him to win this one. I've got him via knockout in the 2nd or the 3rd round there. Heavyweight division, Phillipe Lens against Tanner Boser. This is a very close fight, but I've actually, not so long ago, probably the last hour and a half, I actually made a bet on this fight. And I did the MMA huddle earlier on with John, and I was thinking this is the pass. Then I went back and watched a couple of Lens fights and Tanner Boser fights, and I thought I'm edging Phillipe Lens in this one here, and actually bet him at plus 100. I just think this is going to be a fight that is going to be very, very close. I think the betting line is for goes to decision. I'd maybe have a look at that. If it's a decent number, maybe bet that. But you've got someone like Phillipe Lens who doesn't really throw too much, and you've got someone like Tanner Boser who kind of likes to fight off the back foot and kind of counter a little bit. So the rounds are going to be close, and he's got to kind of get inside the reach of kind of Tanner Boser. He's going to look to kind of fight off his back foot and like kind of maybe pick apart Phillipe Lens. And Lens, I think if he was just to throw a little bit more output, I really do think that he can make this a lot more kind of comprehensive in his side, really. I didn't like the Arlovsky fight. I thought that was... Arlovsky is one of the guys I hate picking against because you think you can get a good read on him, and then he ends up coming out there and he'll pop his jab out there. He's a big guy to get inside the reach, and if you don't hit his chin, he can run away with decision. And that's what happened in that one. He caught Phillipe Lens with some good shots, probably the most experienced guy he's fought. But in this one here, I just think Phillipe Lens, I think he'll land the better, cleaner shots. Boser throws some nice leg kicks. He's very serviceable as a heavyweight. I see him being one of these heavyweights that sticks around the UFC for the longest time because he will win some fights against your low caliber opposition like your Daniel Spitz and so on. I think Phillipe Lens is a level or two above that. He's had bigger fights, kind of bigger moments, being in the PFL, fighting for a milli, and winning that there. So I'm going to take Phillipe Lens. Like I said, I see this being a pretty sloppy fight, but I see him doing enough to win the fight there. And Oh, I got a donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Bet on Wrestling. My man, thank you so much. I see you guys in the chat there. I see Boston Nick. I see all you guys. I might be around a little bit here. It's 12:30 a.m. So yeah, I'll be around. Let me see what's going on. But the next fight here, let me bring this up here. I got some notes. We've got Mara Romero Barella against a newcomer in Miranda Maverick. And Miranda Maverick's a girl I think actually put in my top 10 the UFC should sign in the next 12 months. So that's a couple that I've got over the line now. Brandon Royval was the other one, so that's pretty nice. And she's a girl I've kept my eye on. She's definitely get a lot better. She's improving with her striker. I don't think her striking's great, but she is improving with it. She's a girl who's looking to get the fight to the ground. But she's not very technical with her takedown. She kind of uses, I want to say, a lot of strength to get the fight to the ground. But once she gets it there, it kind of reminds me of the Montana De La Rosa one, where I think if she gets it to the ground, she will be fairly dominant. But she might not even have to rely on her getting it to the ground, because Barella, I think, will look to shoot in and get some takedowns like she did in Courtney Casey. And we've seen that Courtney Casey cannot defend a takedown, and that was a bad pick from me last week because Gillian Robertson absolutely beat her up and dominated her. I should have kind of seen that coming, considering she fought Barella and got taken down so easily. But like I say, Maverick, she will get takedown. She'll go for the single leg. She can mix up by kind of going really hard in and looking to kind of power down in girls to get her down. She has, like I say, she has been getting better at trips. On the mat, like I say, she's very strong in top position. I think she will look for chokes. I think she can manoeuvre to the back. I think she's definitely a massive threat on the ground if she can get the fight to there. And at 22 years old, I think she's got a lot of growth if the UFC match her up correctly. But like I say, I would like to see a little bit more of her striking, because I think that that's something that she needs to get better at to hang around in the UFC. And yeah, I've got Miranda Maverick. I think she's going to get this fight to the ground. I actually think she's going to submit Barella. I think Barella's kind of on her way out now. She's really just taking this fight. I mean, she got her arm cranked, and she's taking this fight a lot quicker than probably she should. So she's maybe just fighting for the money and getting herself back in there. But I like what the UFC are doing by matching her up here. So I'm going to take Miranda Maverick. I'm going to take her via probably a second round submission. I'm going to take her on that one there. Who else have I got? Luis Pena against Khama Worthy. This is a fight I've actually got a bet on. I made this probably a week ago. And I'm picking Luis Pena, but I'm a little bit wary about Khama Worthy in the first round. Really a little bit worried about this in the first round, because Khama Worthy obviously came out against Villante Smith. There was a little bit of... They two were very close friends. I think they'd sparred in the past, and so they kind of knew each other. And I think maybe Villante Smith maybe felt the power that Khama Worthy has early on, and he came and get hit with it. So that's what happened. He got taken out for one of the biggest kind of underdog plays to come through. It was a big upset. But when you go back and watch, I'm not really impressed with what I see from Khama Worthy. I think that after the first round, where he is dangerous in my opinion, I think that he can fade out a little bit. And I think Bob Ross, Luis Pena, has got a lot of skills. And I love the fact that he's moved to American Top Team. From someone that I know fairly close, or knows Luis Pena, he was at the AKA, American Kickboxing Academy, and he just wasn't getting the one-on-one kind of time over there, because they haven't got as many coaches as what ATT has, and he just felt like he wasn't progressing in the way he should there. So moved over to American Top Team, and I've seen here that he's actually been like a big training partner for Dustin Poirier. I think that he's been. You've seen some pictures with him with Jorge Masvidal. Bo Nickel, if you don't know who he is, he's a big wrestling guy in the States there. He's been at American Top Team, so he's been improving his grappling there. I think his striking's always been decent and very, very long. And he uses it fairly well, but there's still a lot of work to do with Luis Pena. You look at his fights beforehand, and this is probably back in the wheelhouse of where he is fighting previous guys, not super high caliber, but I like what I've seen. Like I said, I've faded Luis Pena a couple of times. I did it against Mark Rivola. I did it against Mike Trizano. Mike Trizano was a plus 325 underdog I got him at in that one there. I just thought Luis Pena, to me, is not the finished article. Lost that one. Obviously, was pretty pissed at the Mark Rivola fight where he felt like he won that one. I thought Rivola just did enough to win. Then he beat Steve Garcia where kind of beat him with his striking, but there was a lot of kind of grappling in that one there. When he got to the ground, he kind of passed a few times, used his length. He is very, very lengthy. And this is where I think this length's going to come in here. I think into the second round, he's going to start to dominate with some of his grappling. I think if he can get the fight to the ground and get positions, I think he can take out Khama worthy. So, like I say, I bet him at a line at minus 200. It's now up to minus 260, 270. I think that's a little bit high. I think where I got him at was okay. Maybe minus 225, but going higher than that's a little bit risky in my opinion. I've got him parlayed with someone else up in the card here. So I'm going to pick Luis Pena. I'm going to pick him via submission in maybe the second or third round there. I like kind of violent Bob Ross. And like I said, I've never been big on him, Luis Pena, but do like the fact he's an American top team. He's been training with legit guys. He's going to be learning big stuff from week in to week out. So I've got him in that one there. So we're moving on to the main card here, guys. I see there's like 40 odd people in the chat there, so that is awesome. I really do appreciate it. Like I say, if you've not already, hit that thumbs up, and if you're new, hit that subscribe button and just help a brother out here who just loves talking about the sport and putting my predictions out there on a week-to-week basis. So, yeah, this fight is an absolute slop fest at heavyweight. We've got Gian Villante against the Crochet boss, Maurice Green. And I was watching Gian Villante fights and I'm just like, dude, you reek. Honestly, you... And I shouldn't be saying that because he's a pro fighter, but he is not... I mean, wow, it was not great watching his fights at all. And when I've never been super high on Maurice Green either, and I'm like, am I feeling kind of confident in Maurice Green? I'm like, nah, not really. So I'm just going to sit back and watch this one and see what's going to go on here, but I'm not super confident to pick. I'm going to pick Maurice Green. When you look at Gian Villante, I think that like Villante is so slow and he plods along and he's got a really, really, really bad gas tank. I think for the first 5 minutes, but saying that, he is moving up to heavyweight, so that might help him. Kind of help with those attributes where his gas tanks maybe improved. He can maybe go a little bit longer. I think he's very open to body shots. I think that's something that could obviously slow you down. And you've got the kind of someone in Maurice Green who, when you look kind of skill for skill, he's all around a kind of better striker in my opinion because he uses kicks. He can go low, he can attack the body, and he can back that up with hands. But like I say, both guys are kind of there, and Green's boxing defense is a little bit not great either, so I think he can be kind of bombed on a little bit, but I'm not sure Villante's going to be that guy. As you can probably tell, guys, I've got no real confidence in the pick. I'm going to pick Maurice Green. But I see, actually just seen there that Maurice Green went to Jackson Wink. He's been doing a little bit of training out there with some of the heavyweights they have. I've seen some pictures with John Jones. Don't think he did anything with John Jones, but he might have been a training partner of John Jones that maybe got beat up a little bit. That seems to happen a lot with people that kind of go over there with John Jones, Juan Adams and Devin Clark and so on. But I'm going to take Maurice Green. I think that he is okay off the mat as well, but yeah, I'm not really too fussed about this fight, but I'll take Maurice Green. I think he's a more established striker than what Gian Villante is. But Villante might pull this one out, but I'm going to pick Maurice Green via, I'll take stoppage. So yeah, this fight's a decent fight. Up next, we've got, who have we got, sorry? Brendan Allen against Kyle Daukaus, who's a newcomer to the UFC here. Brendan Allen was supposed to face Ian Heinisch. Ian Heinisch was a guy that I was actually probably going to bet against Brendan Allen because Allen I think is good, but I do think that he is very beatable. And I thought that Ian Heinisch had skill set to maybe not to really kind of hurt Brendan Allen. But when this kind of comes around here, I was like, right, I'm going to watch this Kyle Daukaus kid, and yeah, I want to see what he's all about. I don't think his striking's great. I think he throws a lot of volume, but not really big punishing strikes. He's definitely there to be countered on as well. Keeps his hands low, which I don't particularly like. And he's quite a tall guy for the division. But he is very good on the mat, and I think he is fairly decent with his wrestling to kind of get the fight to the mat. He's a guy that kind of pressures quite a lot as well. Tries to get some against the fence and try and kind of works the takedowns from there. So that's kind of where I see him. And like I say, he's got really good submissions once it hits the bottom. Where he's got some really nice door strokes. You've seen that there. I've seen him throw up some nice triangles. Very well versed off his back. And he's just very kind of active with all kind of the submission kind of aspects of the game. So, and he's always going for submissions. I like that. So he's a guy that doesn't really rest on his laurels. He's on his back. He's trying to throw up submissions. He's trying to attack. I like that. I think he's going to turn out to be a good signing for the UFC. How do I see the matchup going with Brendan Allen? Like I said, I've tried to fade Brendan Allen in the past. I did it with Tom Breeze. That was a terrible pick, terrible bet actually on my side. But I see this fight actually being kind of close because, like I said, I don't really hold Brendan Allen high. I don't really hold him highly up there. But I think he can get takedowns. I think he can maybe be a little bit stronger on the bottom. Has to be very careful he doesn't get sweeped and maybe reversed and get into a bad position with Daukaus, because he has got good submission skills and so on. But I do think Allen has the cleaner wrestling, where maybe Daukaus is a little bit more dangerous with the jiu-jitsu. But I'm going to go with the heavy experience of Brendan Allen, who's been in the UFC, he's been in the LFA, he's been in 5-round fights, so he's got a lot of experience coming from a good gym at Rufus Sport. I think he's just a little bit more well-rounded at this point, and I think that's enough to win him this fight. So I'm going to take Brendan Allen via decision in that one there. Co-main event of the night. I mean, this is a shit show of a fight. Mike Perry against Mickey Gall is the co-main event, and this one here is... I mean, I was looking into this today, and I was like, so Mike Perry, from what I hear, he's moved gyms. He's not in Florida anymore at Fusion XL. I think he's moved somewhere in Texas. He's not really been training with any kind of real sparring partners. His girlfriend is going to be his corner. A girl he's been with for a few months is going to be his main cornerman. And then you've got someone in Mickey Gall who in his downtime has been making an Instagram page for his dog. So yeah. You look at Mike Perry and who he has faced compared to Mickey Gall, and it's night and day. I mean, you've got Mike Perry in there who's been fighting the best at welterweight, and maybe not even the best, but like top 25 guys. You've got someone in Oliveira who, so like, we'll go Jeff Neal. He is going to be a guy that I think fights for a belt. Vicente Luque, I actually feel like he probably should have won that fight. Alex Oliveira, he was a top 15 guy at one point. Cerrone, we know what he's like. He's been ranked at both welterweight, featherweight. Paul Felder, Max Griffin, Santiago Ponzinibbio. So guys, really solid guys. And then you've got someone in Mickey Gall who's not been facing the best guys. So George Sullivan's. I think Randy Brown's going to turn out to be a good fighter. Diego Sanchez, he was a heavy favourite there. Like, I bet Diego at plus 200. No idea why he's such a big favourite there and kind of got blown out really, really badly. But I will say this about him. I thought his last performance against Salim Touare was the best that Mickey Gall has looked, and you've definitely seen some progression with his game, where his striking looked a lot better. He threw a variety of more strikes, elbows, a nice long piercing jab, and obviously where he wins this fight, in my opinion, it's not going to be with his striking. It's going to be if he can get this fight to the ground. And I'm not sure with Mike Perry's kind of fight IQ, because he decided to take down Cowboy Cerrone, which was just dicing with death from the get-go, then jump back into his guard, which is just terrible fight IQ. So he should know that, like, if he goes to ground, he's a big opportunity of getting submitted here. Now you've got like I say, Mike Perry, I just don't know where to kind of go in this fight. I actually know there's some people out there that are betting sizable kind of money in Mickey Gall, because what Mike Perry really up to, and who's he kind of sparring with, who's he getting ready with this fight for this fight with. It's I'm just not sure. Mike Perry is a bit of a savage on the feet. He can take a blow. He throws a lot of heavy overhand, spams that overhand, and he could really maybe drown someone like Mickey Gall. I can't pick Mickey Gall. I really can't. I've faded this guy on numerous occasions. I've bet him in some spots. I bet him against Tuare. I bet against him against Randy Brown, against Diego Sanchez. But like I say, he might be coming into his own now, where he starts to establish himself as a real kind of UFC fighter by beating someone like Mike Perry, and you're maybe seeing some big gains. I just can't pick Mickey Gall. I just can't at this spot. So I'm going to take Mike Perry. I'm going to take him via TKO. I'm going to take him in the probably end of the first round. But if this kind of goes a little bit longer, it might get a little bit sketchy, because we don't know. Literally, I don't know what Mike Perry's been up to. He's just been, everything seems to be with the girlfriend, this new girlfriend that he's with. So I'll take Mike Perry. And the main event of the night, Dustin the Diamond Poirier against the Hangman Dan Hooker. And I'll come out and say it straight away, I've got Dustin Poirier, but I kind of feel I jumped the gun a little bit by betting Dustin Poirier. So I bet Dustin Poirier with Luis Pena, that's my parlay. I got Dustin Poirier at minus 175, so he's up to like minus 220 now. And I parlayed them together, it's like plus 136. But as the kind of fight week's going on, I maybe jumped the gun a little bit too quickly, because I do think Dan Hooker is a very, very, very dangerous, rangy kickboxer who can maybe use some of Dustin Poirier's kind of pressure to his advantage. But what I love about Dustin Poirier is his pressure. I think especially in a small cage, I think his boxing pressure, his boxing technique and his pressure with his boxing could really pay dividends in this fight. But Dan Hooker, I like his kicking game, and I like some of his knees up the middle. They're beautiful. And if Dustin Poirier gets too aggressive, he could end up eating one of those knees or something up the middle. So, but like I say, I'm a big Poirier fan, but I just love his skill set, and I've loved watching the guy fight throughout the years. I think he could implement, personally, a takedown kind of game here. I think if he was to take this guy down, he'd maybe have a little bit of an advantage. But Dan Hooker, I think, is very well versed on the ground as well, and he's got some really good submissions. He's got some long limbs, and I think he's hard to keep down there as well. And Dan Hooker, I mean, he's coming off an absolute war against Paul Felder. There was people saying that he didn't deserve to win that fight. I was kind of on the Paul Felder side when they were fighting last time out. I thought he probably deserved to get the nod, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a judge. I'm just a guy that watched fights. So if it was somewhere else in the world, outside of New Zealand, it might have been a little bit different, but it was a great fight regardless. So yeah, when you look at this fight here, you've got the range and the kicking, I think, of Dan Hooker, who's also got really good elbows and such as well. But he can maybe try and cut someone down like Dustin Poirier with leg kicks, because we know that Dustin Poirier is very susceptible to leg kicks. We've seen that in numerous fights. Jim Miller, Eddie Alvarez had some success there. Justin Gaethje had some success with it. But his boxing is brilliant, and his pressure all over the cage is actually immense. Because you've seen that in the Anthony Pettis fight, where he kind of broke him just with it, even being on top with his pressure on there. Pettis couldn't handle it, really just decided to kind of get out of that fight. I am a little bit worried about Dustin Poirier's kind of motivation, but the interviews I've watched, he's very, very driven for this fight. He's looking to really establish himself in that top 5, keep himself there, because he's right there, and he's still right in title. Like, he could be a guy that ends up, who knows what goes on with Khabib and Gaethje if Khabib comes back or whatever. He's not going to fight Khabib anytime soon, but him against Gaethje would be a fight I would love to see again. Gaethje's really moved up to that next level. Yeah, and like I say, if Dustin Poirier shows up the way I think Dustin Poirier is, I think he wins this fight. I do. I think that he's got a really good opportunity. But we've seen in the past that when he rushes a little bit, that he can get hit with shots. You've seen that in the Michael Johnson fight, where he got hit with that combo and got absolutely sparked out dead. So I think he has to pick his shots really well in this one. Yeah, I think he has to really pick his shots, but I think that Dan Hooker's got a path to victory. I do. I think that I maybe overlooked this a little bit quick by seeing Dustin Poirier at -175 and thinking, oh, that line's going to change, because I kind of put him round about -175, but I did think it would maybe go to 200. I didn't think it should go any higher than that. But like I say, I like Dustin Poirier a lot. I think he's got a lot of good aspects that come in this fight, but maybe I just jumped the gun a little bit there. But that's what happens with that. So, yeah, I'm going to take DP for the win. I'm going to take him via TKO in the kind of 3rd to 4th round here. If not, I can see him maybe run out of decision. But Dan Hooker, in my opinion, is a live fight, and I don't understand people taking, or people saying Dan Hooker doesn't deserve this spot against Dustin Poirier. I don't believe it at all. And if you want to take the shot on Dan Hooker, I'm not against that either, honestly, because I think he's a live fighter. So, yeah, that's my picks, guys. I see there's like 55 in the chat. That's pretty awesome. I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys there. I mean, there's 52 in there, and I've only got 20 thumbs up. If you could give a brother some more thumbs up, it would help. Like I say, and what did I say at the start of this video? I want to know your favourite play, and I want to know your favourite underdog play of the whole entire card. I want to see who you guys are targeting, and I want to see who your favourite spot is in this on this card here. So we're going to be going on a little bit of a break here, and then we've got Fight Island, which is going to be incredible. And I've got a bet lined up. I've got Amanda Ribas, who needs to win to finish off my Curtis Blades parlay. And I've got a big bet, probably my biggest bet of the year. I might as well tell you. So my favourite, my biggest bet of the year is probably going to be Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He's -200 here in the UK, and I think I'm going to actually lay some heavy, because I think in America he's -250. I think that he is I think when I watch his opponent, I think he's got a very big opportunity to kind of win in this fight, and Al Hassan is just an absolute savage. So I'm going to probably have my biggest bet of the year on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So I'll give you a little bit of a we look into that before that, but it's a couple of weeks away. Really looking forward to breaking down those fights. We've got a killer pay-per-view at UFC 251 with 3 title fights. Like I say, Boston Nick's saying they're going live in 10. Jump over to his show. I might be in the chat a little bit in there because it's coming up to 1 AM. I'm going to do a couple of things here, and then I'll be back on you. But I really do appreciate all the support, guys, and I appreciate you for sticking around for 38 minutes coming up there. And Betting Wrestling, I think it is, who gave me my little donation. I really do appreciate that. Until the next time for UFC 251 and Fight Island, guys, all the very, very best. Take care, and enjoy the fights when they come around this weekend. All the best.